Hello students, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss some more concepts from molecular biology. So the concept is RNA world. RNA was the first genetic material. So it is considered as a first genetic material. Already we knew that when we studied about evolution, the first originated organisms are prokaryotes. Prokaryotes or originated first. So in that mostly the prokaryotes are having genetic material as a RNA. So that's why RNA is considered as the first genetic material. RNA as the first genetic material and a catalyst, because why it is a first genetic material as well as it is a catalyst nothing but it controls the rate of reaction or rate of metabolism. So now number one, the number of essential life processes like metabolism, translation, that is nothing but protein synthesis, splicing of genes, that means cutting and joining of genes, evolved around the RNA. That's why it is considered as first genetic material. And RNA used to act as genetic material as well as catalyst because of their essentiality. So why it is a catalyst? RNA is considered as a catalyst. Already we discussed in previous video, because RNA is unstable due to presence of a nucleo, that means nitrogen base uracil. Uracil makes the RNA unstable, and the presence of presence of hydroxyl group on second carbon second carbon is makes the RNA as a reactive. This we will studied in previous video. So RNA being a catalyst was reactive and hence unstable. It is a reactive due to presence of OH group on second carbon, and it is unstable due to presence of uracil instead of thymine in a polynucleotide chain. During evolution, DNA evolved from RNA. So DNA, first evoluted one is RNA. From that RNA, DNA is evoluted with a chemical modification that made DNA more stable. So evoluted from RNA with a chemical modification. Chemically RNA modified to become DNA that is more stable than RNA. The evolution of DNA may have required only two types of enzymes. Evolution of DNA required two types of enzymes. They are ribonucleotide reductase enzyme. Reductase indicates that it is an enzyme to convert ribonucleotides into deoxyribonucleotides. So ribonucleotide reductase, ribose, it is a sugar. We know that RNA ribose sugar molecule structure. So this is a ribose sugar molecule in RNA. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon ribose sugar. In this RNA, second carbon having OH group, hydroxyl group present on the second carbon, and hydroxyl group is also present on the third carbon, and it is a RNA molecule. Now, if you see that DNA molecule, if you observe the DNA molecule, the one, two, third carbon, fourth carbon, and fifth carbon. On second carbon, hydrogen is present. On third carbon, OH group is present. So the difference is here the second carbon. The second carbon of DNA having hydrogen and second carbon of RNA having hydroxyl group. So now this is DNA. The conversion of this RNA during evolution, conversion of this RNA ribose sugar into deoxyribose. It is a ribose sugar. RNA having ribose sugar. And due to lack of this oxygen in this DNA, then it is called as deoxyribose sugar. Deoxy. That means lack of oxygen on this second carbon. So this conversion required an enzyme called as ribonucleotide reductase. That means ribose is reduced to deoxyribose. So removal of oxygen is called reduction. So ribose is reduced to deoxyribose in DNA molecule. And the second one is reverse transcriptase enzyme is required to transcribe RNA into DNA. So this RNA forms the DNA due to presence of this reverse transcriptase enzyme. So these two enzymes are required to evolve the DNA from RNA. The RNA world refers to that stage in evolution of life when both DNA and protein were absent. So RNA world refers to that. What it refers, stage in evolution of life when both DNA and proteins were absent. That stage we will call as the RNA world. So RNA functioned both as catalyst for some biochemical reactions instead of protein enzymes as well as genetic material. These molecules were able to self-replicate and were involved in many important life processes such as metabolism, translation, slicing. So now it is clear that why we are consider this is RNA world, because RNA world refers the stage in evolution of life when both DNA and proteins are absent. That means in that stage when the DNA and proteins are absent, in that stage RNA functioned the both as catalyst for some biochemical reactions instead of protein enzymes. Generally, we will study nowadays all enzymes are proteins. All enzymes are proteins. All enzymes are protein. So that protein enzymes, instead of that protein enzymes, RNA did that function because proteins are absent. As well as it RNA did the function as genetic material because DNA is also absent. So, in the absence of the DNA and protein, RNA functioned as both DNA, that means genetic material, as well as a protein function. That's why we will refer it as RNA world. Occurrence of RNA means where it will present. RNA mainly found in cytoplasm and found in nucleolus, which is present in nucleolus present in nucleus, and in nucleoplasm associated with chromosomes. So this nucleoplasm is also present in nucleus. That means the fluid substance in the nucleus is called nucleoplasm. So RNA mainly found in cytoplasm, nucleolus, and in also in fluid substance in nucleus, that is nucleoplasm. And RNA present in all prokaryotes and in eukaryotes. Prokaryotes examples are bacteria. In all bacteria, ribosomes, that means RNA are present, and it is also present in eukaryotes. In certain viruses, that is reoviruses, where the RNA is double-stranded RNA present in reovirus. And this RNA acts as a genetic material in some plant viruses. Types of RNA. There are two broad categories of RNA. Two broad categories. One, that is genetic RNA, and second, non-genetic RNA. So the first category, genetic RNA. The RNA in some plant virus and animal virus carry hereditary characters from one generation to another generation. Such RNA is called as genetic RNA. So simply, genetic RNA carry the hereditary characters from one generation to another generation. Such RNA is called as genetic RNA. Examples: TMV has a single stranded RNA. It has RNA as a genetic material. Here TMV means tobacco, tobacco mosaic, mosaic virus, TMA. So it consists a single stranded RNA as a genetic material. And other examples from animals, so that is poliomyelitis, influenza, and HIV, has single stranded RNA. So in these viruses, poliomyelitis is a virus causes the polio, influenza and HIV. These are also virus having RNA as a genetic material. So bacteriophages have single stranded RNA as a genetic material. Bacteriophages are also having RNA as a genetic material. Already we studied reoviruses has double stranded RNA as a genetic material. Second category, non-genetic RNA. Non-genetic, that means this RNA does not act as a hereditary material. So non-genetic RNA is synthesized from DNA template. Template is nothing but one strand of the DNA is considered as template. So now the non-genetic RNA is synthesized from DNA. There are mainly three types of non-genetic RNA. They are mRNA, tRNA, rRNA. That means messenger RNA, messenger RNA, tRNA, transfer RNA, and ribosomal RNA. So are the three types of non-genetic RNA. All these three types of RNA are synthesized by DNA. So let's discuss mRNA, messenger RNA. So messenger RNA was first discovered by Vulcan in Escherichia coli. Jacob and Monod coined the term mRNA. The term mRNA coined by Jacob and Monod. It forms 3 to 5% of the total RNA content. So RNA having three contents. We are already specified that. So that is first one is mRNA. In this mRNA and tRNA as well as rRNA are the three categories, three types. These three types, this mRNA contribution is 3 to 5%. 3 to 5%. Suppose if you are consider mRNA, it is 100%. In this 100%, 3 to 5% is mRNA. Remaining is tRNA and rRNA. Now, this mRNA is single-stranded linear molecule without base pairing. Base pairing is absent in mRNA. It has a short lifespan and number of nucleotides generally more than 1500 nucleotides are present in the mRNA. So it is considered as longest RNA. mRNA is longest due to presence of 1500 nucleotides. tRNA, transverse RNA. Transverse RNA, also known as amino acid transfer RNA, it accounts for 10 to 15% of the total RNA. Same already RNA, it is of three types. So in these three types, one it is mRNA, mRNA, it is 3 to 5%. Now second one tRNA, tRNA, it consists 10 to 15%. Okay. Now this tRNA is smallest of all RNAs, smallest one among all, smallest. mRNA is the longest, and tRNA is smallest. And here in this point, average it consists 80 nucleotides for the tRNA molecule, whereas mRNA having 1500 nucleotides, nucleotides Other here, tRNA average it consists only 80 nucleotides. That's why it is a smallest one. Smallest one is tRNA. Longest one is mRNA. Now, this tRNA is easily soluble, hence it is called as soluble RNA. Here we learn two names, other names. One is amino acid transfer RNA, and based on its solubility, it is called soluble RNA. It is easily soluble. Next, a tRNA molecule transport a specific amino acid present in the cytoplasm to the site of protein synthesis. So it is mainly involved in the protein synthesis. So in that protein synthesis, its function is to transport the specific amino acid in the cytoplasm to the site of protein synthesis. Site of protein synthesis is ribosomes. Ribosomes. That means mRNA transport the amino acid present in cytoplasm to ribosomes where proteins are synthesized. This tRNA acquires clover leaf structure by folding upon itself. So its nucleotide chain fold by itself and it form as a clover leaf structure. This clover leaf model of tRNA was first proposed by Holley. So why it is occurred? Why it forms that a clover leaf structure? Because the unusual bases present in tRNA are dihydrouracil, pseudouridine, and hypoxanthine, inosine, etc. This causes coiling of single-stranded tRNA into L-shaped form or maybe clover leaf form. Why this clover leaf structure occurred in tRNA? Due to presence of this unusual bases. That unusual bases are dihydrouracil, pseudouridine, hypoxanthine, and inosine. These unusual bases is the reason for getting this clover leaf structure or maybe L-shaped form in the tRNA. So that L-shaped form or maybe clover leaf structure is mentioned here. So it is a here the diagram. This is the diagram of a clover leaf. Cloves we are using clover leaves, and if you are comparing the structure of this tRNA with, it appears like a clover leaf. rRNA, ribosomal RNA. Ribosomal RNA found in the ribosomes. So ribosomal RNA name itself indicates its site where they are present in ribosomes. So it constitutes about 80% of the total RNA. Again, go through that. RNA. So we know that three types mRNA. This mRNA 3 to 5% and second category or type tRNA and it is 10 to 15% and now rRNA it is about 80% of. So among all RNA the more amount of RNA is rRNA is present in more amount when compared to the remaining. So in total RNA, the major constituent of RNA is ribosomal RNA. Now, this ribosomal RNA rich in guanine and cytosine bases. Guanine and cytosine bases, that means it consists G with the triple bond C. These bases are more in ribosomal RNA. Now, this ribosomal RNA synthesized in nucleolar organizing region, short form NOR, nucleolar organizing region of DNA. What is that nucleolar organizer? So nucleolus organizer region are the segment of chromosomes that contains the genes for ribosomal RNA. The segment of chromosome that contains genes for ribosomal RNA. That segment we will consider as nucleolar or nucleolus organizer region, and which gives rise to interphase nucleoli or interphase nucleolus. Generally, we will called as nucleolus is called as the factories for ribosomes or ribosomal RNA. Nucleolus produces that ribosomal RNA. Okay, so now nucleolus organizing region, that means that segment of chromosome consists genes for that nucleolus or ribosomal RNA. That's why it is that region is called as. That region of chromosome consists a particular genes which are responsible for ribosomal RNA. Okay, now this ribosomal RNA acts as an enzyme called ribozyme. Ribozyme in peptide bond formation between the amino acid. It acts as a ribozyme. So in protein synthesis, already we studied that tRNA brings the amino acid to the site of protein synthesis. Site of protein synthesis ribosomes. So in ribosomes, rRNA is present. This rRNA acts as a catalyst, that means enzyme ribosome. So when suppose AA, it is a one amino acid, and now tRNA brings again another amino acid AA2. Now it required the formation of peptide bond between these two. That bond formation between two amino acids, it is regulated by rRNA, ribosomal RNA. So peptide bond formation between amino acids are catalyzed by ribosomal RNA. So the lifespan of rRNA is several days. So that's why it has a longest lifespan. It is a speciality of this ribosomal RNA. So now let's start with another new concept under this chapter, that is replication. Today we are going to discuss a little bit introduction to this replication. So what is meant by a replication? So formation of a new DNA strand from old DNA is called replication, or maybe DNA duplication. So formation of new DNA strand from old DNA strand is called as replication or DNA duplication. So when this replication is takes place, the replication is takes place during S phase. Here S for synthesis phase. S means synthesis phase of interphase just before cell division. So this replication is takes place just before the cell division in S phase. Modes of DNA replication, modes or maybe types. Types or maybe modes of DNA replication. There are three modes or maybe three types of DNA replication. They are conservative DNA replication, semi-conservative DNA replication, dispersive DNA replication are the three types of modes of DNA replication. Let's see the first mode of replication, conservative mode of replication. The parental DNA molecule directs synthesis of an entirely new double-stranded molecule. The parental DNA molecule directs synthesis of an entirely new double-stranded molecule. After one round of replication, one molecule is conserved as two old strands, and this repeated in the second round also. After one round of replication, one molecule is conserved as two old strands, and this is repeated in the second round also. So let's see the diagram. Here you can understand clearly. So now this is the parental DNA here mentioned. This is the parental DNA. So the color, remember, identify the color. It is a blue. These two strands. Parental DNA color, it is given as a blue strands. And newly synthesized, it is represented with a yellow strands. So now as per statement, parental DNA molecule directly synthesis of an entirely new double stranded molecule. So this is a newly in first replication, the newly developed strand. Clear? Along with this, it forms one and two molecules. These strands are completely newly formed, and it is first replication. And in second replication, this new, this will form one newly formed one. This is completely newly formed like previous. So what is after one round of replication, one molecule is conserved as two old strands. One molecule, two molecules are formed. No? Two, one, this is one, and two DNA molecules are formed. In first DNA molecule, it completely gets two old strands, and another one gets completely new strands. And when this one undergoing second replication, same it will repeats. One will get completely new strands, and another one will get the old strand. And now here this in first replication, one produce completely new strands. No, these are all, this is a complete new strands. There is no any parental DNA in this. Parental DNA is in blue color. No, there is no parental DNA. Now it is completely new, and it produces the two new DNA molecules again in the next generation. This type we will call as the conservative type of DNA replication. And the second type of DNA replication, that is semi-conservative mode of replication. This is a wide accepted model. Semi-conservative mode of replication. This type is mostly accepted. accepted. And for this semi-conservative mode of replication, there is a experimental proof also. Experimental proof. So now let's discuss what is this semi-conservative mode of replication. The parental DNA strands separate and each make a copy of itself. After one round of replication, the two daughter DNA molecules each comprises one old strand and one new strand that we will call as semi-conservative. Listen carefully. So parental DNA, it is a blue color, no? So it is a blue color. Now what happens first? The parental DNA separates. So as per diagram, it will separate. Two strands, two strands are separ or separated first like this. So it is a first strand and it is second strand. As for statement, the parental DNA strands are separated, make a copy of itself. That means they can synthesize their new strand. Now, this strand, first strand, synthesize its own strand. Now, like this new synthesis. And here it is also synthesizes new strand. That means in first replication, if you observed clearly, in first replication, one strand that is blue color, it is a parental, and this yellow color, it is the new. So in first replication, newly formed strand, the newly formed strand. Understood. The newly formed strand as well as old strand is present. Parental strand 1 and newly formed strand 1. Then it is called semi-conservative. And second replication, then same. You can observe. First, what is the step? This is undergoing the second replication. This you can take. So now two strands, one strand, it is a blue color strand, and first it need to split, no? So another strand, it is a yellow color strand. This is another strand. Two strands separated. Then they can synthesize their own. Newly synthesized strand is always yellow color. That's why this strand, which one? This blue colored strand synthesizes a new strand that appears yellow. So that means here it is the strand in second replication. That means heterozyte. We can consider two different strands. One is a parental blue color and newly synthesized. And now here when the second one is yellow color, that means again it will appear like this. So means in this second it is forms the. So in every generation, if you go for third replication also, you will observe this type of DNA molecule you will observe continuously in each end. When these two are splits, this is a blue color is the parental. It synthesized new one, it will appears as a yellow. And another parental, in these two yellow strands are there. One is parental, already existed one, and another one is the new one, newly synthesized. So after two rounds, two of the DNA molecule consists only of new material, while the other two contain one old and one new strand. See, in second, after completion of two, first replication, this is, and completion, this is second one is also completed. After two replications, total how many molecules are formed? Four molecules are formed. In these four molecules, two are completely newly formed strands. These are completely the DNA molecule with complete new strands. But whereas the two are having one old strand, the first blue color, it is the parental strand, and another one is the new strand. I think you are understood. Semi-conservative. When a new molecule is formed from the DNA, it consists the one old DNA strand and one newly synthesized strand. Third type of replication, that is dispersive mode of replication. The two parental strands are distributed more or less randomly between two daughter molecules. The two parental strands are distributed more or less randomly between two daughter molecules. You can observe that. So here already we knew clearly. So parental DNA blue color we are mentioned here, blue color strands both are having. Now what dispersive is saying that distribution of more or less randomly. Parental, so yellow color strand is randomly distributed between new strands. This is a new strand, this is a new strand. So between these two new strands, the old strand is distributed. So such type of replication is called as dispersive replication. So let's see all the three types on to the one frame. So now here it is a clear cut representation of all these three modes of replications. So conservative, we can compare how it is taken. By observing this picture, we can get an idea how the replications are takes place in different modes. So conservative type, semi-conservative, this is we are going to discuss in further. Semi-conservative and dispersive are the three types of modes of replications. So in conservative, what happens? The total DNA molecule, whole DNA molecule produce the two new DNA molecules. In that one is old and another one is completely gets the new strands. Whereas comes to the semi-conservative, this parental DNA first separates, and then each separated strand can synthesize the new DNA strand. That is called as semi-conservative. So in this type, this newly formed DNA molecule consists one old DNA strand and one newly synthesized strand that we will call semi-conservative. Whereas in dispersive, so DNA molecule, that is the parental DNA randomly distributed between the newly formed DNA molecule, that we will call as the dispersive mode of replication.